as parents, how do we help our kids with the unknown?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we can do for our kids is acknowledge
Mhm.
that it is the unknown.
Okay.
Talk about that with them. Uh, even referring back to what's happened at the beginning of, March and April,
Hmm.
where all of a sudden things were very unfamiliar. We weren't sure what was going to happen. And so being able to kind of walk alongside your kids
Hmm.
with that and to say, things like, you know, here's what we're planning for school, but this is what we're planning right now. And we hope that this is how it's going to turn out, and we can anticipate, some things are going to happen, but we also need to be prepared
Hmm.
in case something changes.
So contingencies have become a norm now versus hard and fast. This is exactly how it's going to be, but helping our kids understand that you can have a plan A, but you still need to have contingency plans of B if things change, and C if other things change.
Well, I think so. I think that's part of it, Gina. And if you think about that, that's a great life skill,
Okay.
because I mean, regardless of what we're going through right now,
Hmm.
contingency plans are something that we as adults have to do a lot of times. But also, I think the other side of that is living with the idea that we may not have a plan B or C because we don't know what's going to change. It's truly the unknown. We have a discomfort with that a lot of times. And
Yes.
kids have a discomfort with that. I think something we don't realize a lot of times, adults, we've lived through unknown circumstances.
Okay.
We know what it is to kind of, and some of us deal better with that than others. That's a given. But kids haven't had the opportunity or as many opportunities to live through a season of life that we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And you know what, Chris, what it helped me recognize just in this conversation, that I'm really trying to control something that I can't control.
Well, I think that's very key. I, I think it's a great conversation to have with your kids when you're facing a time like this or
Mhm.
any other time where you don't know what's going to happen, to say, let's sit down and let's talk about what are the things that we can't control at all.
Mhm.
We cannot control what kind of regulations the school is going to make after we go back and something changes. We
Yeah.
can't control if the whole status of the pandemic and all this is going to shift. And of course, you got to say this in terms your kids can
Yeah.
understand, or leave in or leave out information
Mhm.
that is important for them. But what can we control? Let's
Mhm.
make a list of that, or let's talk about that, or let's say those things. We can control, first of all, our overall attitude
Okay.
and worry. And that's very important,
Yeah.
to have power over your worry and
Mm.
stress and anxiety with it.
So what I hear you saying is, in talking about what our kids can control, is basically we're trying to normalize what they're feeling and what they're experiencing as well.
Well, normalizing really for us as parents, what we're trying to help our kids do is say, look, this stress and anxiety that you are feeling,
Yes.
it's okay. That's normal. It's normal to look at something that's an unknown future and
Yeah.
uncertainty and kind of look at that with a little bit of fear, and a little trepidation.
Yes.
It's okay. But let's not camp out there.
Okay.
Let's process and work our way through it. So normalizing is helping your child not feel weird or dumb or like there's something wrong with them because they feel the stress.
Okay.
But we also, like I said, we want to help them process through that stress and let them know that what they control
Mm-hmm.
are the skills and the power and the skills that me, the parent, we're going to teach you how to work through this season that we're going into, work
Okay.
through this uncertainty.
Okay. And are there any skills we really need to coach our kids in to help them handle their emotions, process the anxiety, process the trepidation they may be feeling?
Well, I definitely think that a necessary skill is teaching our kids to self-care.
Okay.
We may not call it that,
Okay.
with our kids, but just the self-care is really the things that we do on a day-to-day basis where we maintain our physical health,
Mm,
our mental health, our emotional health, so that we can better process those times of stress or anxiety. So, are we getting enough rest and sleep?
okay.
That is so big.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, kids and adults alike,
Yes.
right? Are our kids able, are we encouraging them to get some outside time, get some of that sunlight?
Yeah. Yeah.
We encouraging them to stay connected to family and friends maybe that they don't get to talk to because of
Hmm.
this quarantine? Whenever my kids ask, hey, can I FaceTime my friends? Unless there's a really good
Yeah.
reason to say no, which there hasn't been, I always say,
Okay.
yeah, please do. I know that's important. That helps them to self-care. It helps them to have support from their peers. And so we need to encourage our kids to do that. We also need to model that for them as well.
Okay. So we need to take care of ourselves,
Yes,
recognizing our emotions and not camping out in those emotions, because as parents, what we feel and experience does impact our children presently and into their future.
absolutely.
And we just need to recognize that these times are uncertain and that we can only control what we can only control.
I think the biggest thing that we can do too, and really this is just to cap this whole thing off,
Okay.
we need to give something to our kids that they need during times of uncertainty, and that is a sense of hope.
Oh, that's good.
Help them know that this is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We're not going to, nothing horrible is going to happen to us because we don't know the future.
Mm,
As a matter of fact, we face unknown things a lot and we continue to, but you know what? We have skills, we know what we can control, and we are able to work through this. And for parents to say, you know what? I'm going to be with you every step of the way, and
mhm.
we're going to do this together.
Well, thank you, Chris, for sharing as we enter this new school year, as we as parents really help our kids cope with the unknown. Thank you.
Thank you.